What's up, guys? My name is Elias, and The Mandalorian and Grogu is officially in theaters, so it's time to watch, review, and rank every single Star Wars movie. And continuing our watch list is one of the few sequels in the history of cinema that ended up outshining the original 1980's The Empire Strikes Back. Acting as the technical fifth episode in the Skywalker saga, and generally regarded as the best Star Wars movie in existence, The Empire Strikes Back expands the lore of George Lucas's sandbox IP with new characters, grand set pieces, and sinister revelations, officially turning the franchise into a household name. Taking over directing duties for George Lucas, Irvin Kershner, at the time known for his work on indie films and television, led the charge with Lucas at his side every step of the way to ensure his vision of the IP never went sideways. Our favorite cast of characters returns here with a budding romance between Han and Leia while Luke comes into his own as a Jedi Knight. The latter's training on Dagobah is a highlight as we are introduced to one of my top 3 favorite characters in the whole franchise, Jedi Master Yoda. Here, Yoda is actually kind of quirky and hilarious, whereas the prequel trilogy painted him as this badass, stoic, jumping frog kind of warrior. But as weird and funny as he still manages to drop some serious wisdom on Luke before his untimely death, where he just goes to sleep and fades away like Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises. We also get the intro of the cape-wearing Lando Calrissian. I'm sorry. Billy D. Williams plays the perfect foil to Han Solo, wherein they are basically the same kind of smuggling thieves, but couldn't be more different in personality, playing off each other uncannily as good old frenemies. Speaking of Han, my man gets frozen in some carbonite because Harrison Ford, much like after the first one, did not want to commit to sequels. So in case he opted out of a third movie, they had a way to just keep him frozen in the universe. The scene where this happens also confirmed that Han Solo just couldn't be any cooler, with Leia telling him, "I love you," beforehand, and his only reply is, "I know." You gotta love Han, man. And speaking of not wanting to commit to sequels, Alec Guinness didn't even want to return to reprise his role as the Force Ghost Obi-Wan to help be the voice of reason and wisdom for Luke. What a thespian. George Lucas's special effects company ILM relied on more groundbreaking practical and optical effects to achieve a tangible fantasy land in a galaxy far, far away, essentially pioneering such filmmaking techniques and further revolutionizing cinema as we know it. But of course, the biggest highlight from the arguably best sequel ever made is Luke and Darth Vader's dynamic. While Luke trains on Dagobah with Yoda, he begins to have visions of Darth Vader, all the while Yoda hints at Vader's true identity, that the Force runs strong within his family, that he'll be the last Jedi after Yoda passes, and most importantly, that there was another Skywalker that just hadn't been revealed yet. Now, Darth Vader, again played by David Prowse and voiced by James Earl Jones, is portrayed as a more intimidating, collected, and powerful figure, looming over the film as this sinister presence at the center of the franchise. Whereas in the first one, he was a borderline foot soldier who took orders from anyone and everyone, namely General Tarkin and the shadowy Emperor Palpatine. When we see a brief glimpse of his burnt flesh that causes the Sith Lord eternal pain underneath all that armor, it does create this intrigue of the character, a mystery that causes us to kind of subconsciously sympathize with him on some level. That sentiment is fully driven home when the final battle between Luke and Vader involves a dark revelation that I'm sure blew people's minds in 1980. Vader is Luke's father, the legendary Anakin Skywalker, aka my favorite character. From that moment forward, it became clear that the grand story of this epic space opera involved more nuance, depth, and lore that audiences simply weren't prepared for, but also looked forward to seeing fleshed out. Real quick before I give you my final thoughts, if you want to know my official rating of the movie, click the link in the description below to check out my letterbox at Takes with Eli, along with my other socials where I post stuff like this all the time. But let's get back to it. Overall, The Empire Strikes Back is a sequel done right, taking everything that made the first one as iconic as it is and dialing it up to 11, expanding the lore and providing epic thrills in the process. It's unclear whether Star Wars would have been as successful as it was without Irvin Kershner's beloved sequel, but I'm glad we don't have to worry about that with now 50 years of storytelling pointing toward The Empire Strikes Back as a pivotal moment in the history of the franchise. But that's it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit that like button and get in my comments with your thoughts on 1980s The Empire Strikes Back, as well as which Star Wars movie you're excited for me to talk about next. But until then, take care and God bless.